Thanks for having me. I love, every chance I get, I love to tell my story in hopes that it will inspire others to kind of follow that same path. I was married and got 3 daughters, moved to Lubbock, 20 years ago. I was in the Air Force. I was a manufacturer's rep in the plumbing mechanical industry, so I understood the building concept, stuff like that. I was raised in the church, just living the dream, or what I thought was the dream, living what I, thought was important, being a man of the world and not so much of God, but knowing God, but not having a relationship with him. Depressed, discovered alcohol at a later age and had some big struggles with that. For about 10 years, I ran pretty hard, got in some trouble with DWIs and whatnot. And, it took some short incarceration at Lubbock County Jail to make me realize that, living in the world was not the way to go. It didn't bring me any happiness. And, a 12-step program and the VA and all the shrinks and the counselors and, of course, church and God and people like yourself that, are like-minded, surrounding me, helped pull me out of that depth, I didn't know what to do. I knew that I couldn't be around the same people that I was around when I was in that world. And I had to change some things. I couldn't go back to that. Didn't have a lot of options because, I've done the same thing for 20, 25 years. I can't go back into the military. Too old and fat for that. So I had to get away. I had to get away from that lifestyle. I had to get away from that people. I had to get away from everything. You are who you surround yourself with, and I had to stop that. I worked various jobs. I worked out at Tech, worked out at the airport. I lost my home, my clothes, my driver's license, my social security card, my everything. I lost it all. Birth certificate. I just, really start over. And I did, and I was looking for an apartment downtown, and 2 individuals who really own this building with MRA Capital, they asked me to do some things for them and gave me some work, and I was looking for an apartment. This is Profit, my store cat. So I started working for them, and next thing you know, it turned into a partnership, and those are a couple of good God-fearing men, that I like to say, godly men. And they asked me to, be a partner in all this down here. And that's what I've been doing. And staying sober, working a 12-step program, and getting right with my relationship with God, not just knowing him, And I really believe you do good, and good will do you. Somebody asks for 10, you give them 20, not just money, just, effort. And that's pretty much how I got to where I'm at. Finally joined a church, put good people in my life. My kids are back in my life now. They're, wanting to be around their dad and talk to their dad, and they're not embarrassed of them. And right now, I'm going to be in this changing situation for the rest of my life, till I pass. I'll always be growing. And, the important part right now is my relationship with Christ. And, how that's growing and getting better and better. And if anybody was to actually hear my story and realize what changes I've made in the past 3 to 4 years and say there's not a God, something's wrong with them. Because this does not happen, on its own. It just through my efforts. It's not. It's a power greater than myself that has done this. And there is literally no other explanation as to how this has happened. And now I'm able to bless others with what I've learned and what I've done, and set an example, not just the alcohol addiction or addictions, but, getting out of depression and anxiety and PTSD, and walking with the Lord, and joining a church. I joined First Christian Church downtown, and everybody knows my name and everybody's checking on me. I told you this morning, they missed me at the men's group this morning, so they sent someone down to check on me. That feels good, and that reminds me to do that for others. Pick up the phone, call somebody, call a buddy, call a friend, call somebody at church, a family member. Just check in, Somebody said the other day, and I'm stealing this. I steal a lot of little quotes and things to say, but let your presence be your ministry. Sometimes you don't have to have the greatest words in the world. Just be there. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And sometimes just being there, whether it's at work or at school or in your leisure time, and just sit down and be there. And people take that for granted, And people have done that for me, therefore I want to do it for them. But that's kind of my mantra right now is, whether it's be going to church or joining a new Sunday school class or being here, in my business, in my work, or for the other employees that I work next to here, or our tenants, or just be there. Let your presence be your ministry. We forget how important that is, That's quite a conundrum, is knowing you're in a bad spot and taking the right steps to get out of that bad spot. I love to always, the 12 steps in recovery programs. I use those in everything aspect of my life, not just in my recovery. But knowing you've got a problem, whether it's addiction or anything, and wanting to know what to do, there's a big space in there. That's a big gap, and where I was and where I would like to show others what to do in that situation is truly know that you have a problem. Not just pity party, oh my goodness, my life isn't great, it's not what I want it to be. What do I do to get out of this? Truly know what your problem is, and admit it to yourself and someone else, and possibly your higher power, God, and seek with a fierce ambition. Seek knowledge to get yourself from where you are to where you want to be. Seek knowledge like it's oxygen, like you're drowning and you need it. Take help from everybody. I used to think a strong man doesn't need a 12-step program. A strong man doesn't need any help from anybody. A strong man doesn't need God, family members, friends, loved ones, a book, the Bible, self-help, a psychiatrist. I finally realized that the strong man is the one that gets on his knees and says, help. Please, God, help. The weak man, the weak person, continues to believe that they can do it themselves. And to those who say, I don't have a higher power, well, let's do this. Let's compare bank accounts. Let's race around the corner. Let's do a bench press. I might not be able to beat you, but somebody can. You're not the highest power. Something outside of you is always strongest. And the strong person goes to those higher powers and says, help. Get me out of this. So to answer your question, to those who were where I was at, who are where I was at, and know that they want to get out, truly know your problem and seek knowledge. Because knowledge is power in that instance. It really is. Just knowing where to go to and what to do. I mean, I spent 42 days in county jail because I was racking up DWIs like old ladies collect old furniture. I was just doing the same thing over and over again. And I was just in my addiction and I had no hope. And, the Lord maketh me lie down in green pastures. This time the green pasture, it just happened to be Lubbock County Jail. And in that 42 days, I got more education than I've ever got in my entire life. School, college, university, whatever. And he restored my soul, and he gave me the power and the strength to get out of that green pasture and drink from his river. Lay down in your green pasture and let him take care of it. Just sit and be still with it for a while, and seek out people who have been there. I surround myself with people who have been there, who have made it, who I feel are successful. That's like, going to play golf. You don't want to sign up with the 3 worst players. You want to sign up with the 3 best players because they're going to make you better. And getting yourself out of addiction, or getting yourself back with the Lord, or getting yourself out of depression or anxiety, or working with family issues or work issues or PTSD, quit being so darn prideful and ask for help. So hope that answers your question. Ask for help. Get on your knees, pray. I did that on my fourth day in jail. I got on my knees and prayed out loud, and I didn't care who was watching. Hopefully, now that I look back, that I was an example to some other men, But the Lord answered me. I prayed, and he didn't just answer me, man. He screamed at me. I heard him. And I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I realized I've lost everything that was precious and dear to me. And I let a lot of people down. Family, friends, co-workers, bosses. I just let a lot of people down. Embarrassed my kids, Kids are horrible these days, and they don't hold anything back. And, I had one daughter that had to leave, change schools because, they're running around with dad's, all the kids are running around on social media with dad's mugshot from being thrown in jail for DWI. And that's horrible, to think that has to happen or had to happen and that I caused it. But I'm working through it, and I'm better now for it. Somebody, my Aunt Arlene, who she's one of my top people in my life, my supporters. And she was the one who was present. Her presence was her ministry. She was the first one on the phone that said, I love you. I forgive you. I care about you. What can I do? And just having her presence on the phone was all I needed. So inspired me. And I was talking to her recently, and she said, in response to me saying, I wish I'd have had this newfound, understanding of my relationship with Christ and understanding of helping others, at an earlier age. I wish I'd have gotten it when I was 25. And she says, no, absolutely not. She says, the universe has decided now is your time. You were that diamond getting crushed. You were that pearl at the bottom of the sea. You were that mustard seed waiting to grow, being watered and crushed in the dirt. She said, now is your time. And that's true. God said, Chuck, now is your time. And I'm 55, and I don't have a lot of time on this earth, so I'm going to do the best I can. And everything that comes my way, it is a gift from God. Somebody said, God finds favor in me. And I'd never had somebody tell me that. And that was a heavy load, man. I don't want to mess up, So, God put before me Jake and Daniel with MRE Capital. And I tell you what, those guys ask me for 10, I give them 20, whatever it is, And I always try to think, what's next? What can I fix? What can I do? And this building, we've got 99 apartment units. 69 of them are tax credit units. We're income based. You pay a little less than the average rate. We have 20 units where you would pay the average rate, and we have 10 high-end condos on the roof. So it's all income-based, all types of people. I truly believe in order to have a good vegetable stew, you need to have a lot of vegetables, not just a bunch of sour onions, And that's what I believe we have here. But if I can set the example for some of these people who are down, who have been homeless, who have been in addiction, and let them know that there's hope. I was at my bottom. And you don't have to be at your bottom to get out of your situation. It just so happens that I was at my worst. I was on hold with the Suicide Veterans Hotline. I was that guy. And there's so much hope if you just stop with your pride and stop surrounding yourself with those you surround yourself with. Come in here, get some assistance, get an apartment, and improve your life. Now, some choose not to, and they have to get evicted. And I wish them well. But some, hopefully, they can see this staff with Valhalla, our management company over there. They're amazing, And the girls understand a lot of what I come from, and what's gone through, and a lot of what these people are going through with low-income situations. But I just want to be an example of how good God can be and how we need to use his tools that he gives us. And then for those here to use those skills that they get and to raise others in Christ's name and to do wonderful things. Like I said, I'm 55. I don't have a lot of time, but I have enough time to make a difference. And it's such a blessing to see somebody love this facility and treat the lobby like it's their own living room and care about it, and come to church with me when I invite them, and get involved in their life, I hope I can be an inspiration to those that need it, because there's times in my life where I needed some inspiration and I didn't have it. I looked to the worldly things, for that inspiration. I've got the store here. Obviously, I have a cat named Prophet, and I'm for profit. I have a community sound booth back there. If you're a nonprofit or a church or a business downtown, I'm all about growing downtown Lubbock as well. That podcast booth, vlog room, recording studio, digital content room, that's available to anybody downtown who wants to use it. It's available. It's right there. The store, I'll have stuff here for the community. It's not just for the tenants who live here. It's a general store. But God is here, and I want people to come in this store and know that God's here. And God's in this building, in this apartment complex. And I just got to fill people up, I got to fill people up. That's my purpose right now. Life is amazing. And I didn't realize that. I was just going through it, Somebody said a story one time. Imagine you're up in heaven or wherever, the universe, and you're this little orb of light, and you're there forever, and you've been there forever. And the power that be comes to you and says, for 1/18th of a second, you're going to go to earth. And in that 18th of a second, you're going to feel love, sadness, happiness, anger, pain, weakness, strength. For an 18th of a second, do you want to go down there and feel that? Well, heck yeah, we all do. I've been up here forever, and I'm going to be forever. I'm going to go check this out for an 18th of a second. Well, I'm here on my 18th of a second. I've wasted a lot of it doing the wrong thing, but now I'm going to do the right thing. And, I wish more people would look at life that way. It is so good. And, people ask about the range of emotions that there are in life, and I have one emotion, and it's just love, That kind of settles everything for me. God is love. Therefore, I'm going to do my best to be love, and share it and love others and inspire others to love others. And hopefully that'll snowball into something bigger here in downtown Lubbock and here in this facility and outside the other facilities and the churches down here. The people of Lubbock, I've pretty much been around the world, and the people of Lubbock, I love them severely, and I'm here for good. I had thought about leaving, but I'm not leaving, obviously. We are living in this bubble in Lubbock, and with no political views at all, or comments to make about policies or religion or anything. We're struggling in the growth and growing. You got to grow. Sometimes it seems like we're a stagnant pond and we need to be a running river. Do you see deer drinking from a stagnant pond or a running river? You got to change. You got to get over your old ways. I'm a perfect example of that. I get it. And the same thing for the community. And there's so many things that are available out there that we don't know are available. That people like me or others who are struggling, who need housing, there are things available. You just have to ask. Believe me, I got here by asking. I didn't do this on my own. God and others that God put in my life help. You can get on food stamps. There's shelters. There's addiction help. There's all kinds of work programs. You just have to get over yourself and go ask for it. Like I said earlier, you got to be strong. Stop being a weak person and think you can do it on your own. You can't. Change your surroundings, change your life, get out of there, go ask for help. It's here. Lubbock has a plethora of services available. And we do all our old school marketing that we think is going to work to get out there and let people know that we have things available. But we as providers of programs need to put a little more effort into letting those who need it know that it's here. You know, you can't, what is it? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I understand that. But there is HUD housing, there is tax credit housing, which is what we are, income-based housing. There's all kinds of programs available, but you are the one that has to sit down and do the paperwork and ask and do the due diligence and work, because not everything is a handout. You're gonna have to work at it. And I know, I'm not just saying that, because it was me. I was walking around the streets in downtown Lubbock, looking for a job, looking for a jacket, looking for some new sneakers, sleeping at the AA location, sleeping on the floor at AA. I was that guy. And I wasn't really proud of it. Not at all. But I got out of it real quick because I got on my knees and I prayed. But yeah, this place is available. You know, we have some evictions and we have some people who don't want to admit to their issues and want to remain being weak people, thinking they can do it on their own. Eventually they lose their place. But Keith and Patty and Meredith working over there for Valhalla here at the Metro Tower, man, they'll do everything they can to make sure that you have a great place to stay. You just got to come in and ask, do the paperwork. You got to get up off your butt, walk across the living room, go into the kitchen, open the fridge, grab that apple or whatever you want and put it in your mouth and eat it. That's life. And the same goes with housing or jobs or anything. And don't forget, bring others with you. Always turn your efforts into other people, because that'll take you even further. That's how I got here, just by helping others. Do good and good will do you. You know, that's my favorite. That's my thing. Do good and good will do you.